Financed your first stand-up. You had 20. It cost you 22,000. You had 25 to your name.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to do that? You believe that much in Katt?
I believe that much in business. In business, the goal is for you to become independent and be the boss, take the responsibility, and also get the profit.
Okay.
That's all. How can I be looking for you to put me on if I wouldn't? And if I can't show you what you missed out on, why would you believe me? Now, the fact that I was able to do it 12 times, that's the real thing. The part that I'm able to do it all across the country. The fact that every time I do a tour or a special, you think, well, that's sponsored by somebody. Somebody did a good job. No, just the guy they're kicking around. Just the one that might mentally not be all there. He's the one picking the outfits, writing this guy's material, booking the shows, making sure he gets there. He's the one hiring the other comedians. But hey, I knew that that's the end goal. So if that's the end goal and I'm there when I start, why would I deviate from that?
Right.
Hello, family. Welcome back to another episode of Journey to Harmony. I'm your host, Richard Harmon. Today, I want to talk to you about a theme that went through with the Katt Williams interview. So we all saw the interview. The video is going absolutely viral right now. It's up to over 30 million views. Katt Williams came out and he spoke a lot of his grievances that he's had with different people, whether it's in the industry, people in Hollywood and the like. He spoke a lot about how he is different from many other people who are in the industry, as many people have taken different shortcuts in terms of getting to where they are and where it is that he is. And we see overall just how he was able to having years of working in silence and in the dark as now being able to be put on the spotlight. And he is going to be a big interview for just about anyone who is interested in having him on their podcast. He's going to have some amazing things to talk about in terms of his comedic approach. He's a lot like Dave Chappelle in that he is kind of, built his own reputation. He's built his own way in terms of the life in Hollywood. And now he's able to sit back and to reap as a result of that. There was one overarching theme that I saw from this, and something that is kind of playing out here in everyday life as we're moving into 2024 and marching at the years coming forward. So this channel has talked a lot about the immigration process right now, how we're having millions of people cross the border, where they're having a completely different wave of people who are coming in that will be focused and building the country in a different way. And something that Katt Williams, the overall arching theme was, either you're going to be talented enough to create your own, or you're going to take the deal that someone offers you. And when they offer you that deal, you're not always going to be satisfied with what that's given. So Katt Williams talked about how there were a number of people who were taking deals in terms of they would have to do things, provide whether sexual favors or wear dresses or different things like that in order to get the things that they wanted. And this has been true for the longest of times. And with the prospect and with the overall production of the social media platforms, you're able to see what's really been going on. Diddy is being prosecuted and arrested right now. Not arrested, but charged, paying out fees and different things like that because some of the things that he did that were in the dark in time past but are now coming to the light. And many of us right now, as we're seeing the implementation of AI, as we're seeing millions of people who are coming that are going to reduce the cost and reduce the ability to earn in terms of everyday people, there's going to be more deals that are going to be handed out to people. There'll be people who were supposed to have done well, parents who were supposed to invest in their children who never did, and they are going to be living a rough life in this time to come. We see the cost of housing has risen. We see the price of life is just expanding, and not knowing exactly what the future holds. If you are in this position right now, is the time. We have about 1 to 3 years before I think everything is fully implemented. All of the people who are coming across the border are given documentation, and they're fully acclimated to the work environment, and things begin to change. When that time comes, the AI the AI software at that time will be so advanced and compared to where it is right now. I feel like this is 2003 and Google is just getting launched. And by the time we're 3 years, 5 years, 7 years from now, many of our jobs, if you're sitting down in an office, many of our jobs, if you're working at a warehouse, they will no longer be useful between the robots and between the AI. Add on top of that the cheap cost of labor and then the continued pressure on housing. We have added 40 million people to the US since 2008, and we will likely add another 20 to 30 million here the next 5 to 10 years. That'll be 70 million additional people, and we've only been building at about 1.5 to like 2 million homes per year. So there's going to be definitely some inflationary pressures that are coming where we're, as a nation, we are up over $34 trillion in debt, and that is going to balloon here in the next few years. We're likely going to see the Fed have to drop rates. Maybe not this year, but they're going to have to take rates way lower as well because of the national debt and how everything works out in terms of that. I'm going to play a little video here of the Katt Williams interview. We'll watch a little bit of that and come back and talk about it. His first time joining, please hit that like button and also consider subscribing to the channel. Here we go.
I did not know. You're telling me and showing me a side of the business that I didn't know. That you guys are, man, the competition, the competitiveness.
That's all business. I don't care if they're selling Coke. You wouldn't believe the things that Coca-Cola says about Pepsi. You wouldn't believe the water conversations between Dasani and Liquid Death. Like in all business, in all sport, competition is a driving force. And I don't require anybody to be better. Who am I? I just require if you're a loser and you've taken shortcuts at every chance and you've made sure that you didn't put anybody on that really had a work ethic and was a God-fearing person and you helped that. If that was never you, then don't act like that's you. Yeah, that wasn't the thing. It wasn't, people say that. He lost $50 million. No, that's not even close to what happened to this dude. And until you understand what happened to the dude, you don't understand what happened. Like, no, not they offered him 50 million and he turned it down. Who gonna turn down 50 million? Now, I've had to turn down $50 million 4 times. 4 times. Just to protect my integrity and that virgin hole I was telling you about. Right. Because P. Diddy be wanting the body. And you gotta tell him no. You got to tell him no.
All right, guys. So there it is. So again, like this is a story like that he is talking about, but I think it's something that speaks to all of us. There was a time in California where you could have bought a house for $200,000 in San Francisco, in LA, in San Diego. There was a time in New York where you could have bought something for under $600,000 or under $500,000 in some decent areas. But as more and more people are flocking to these locations, as more and more people are moving to these areas for better economic situations, the cost has risen, and it's like as MG the mortgage guy can say, it's up and stuck. And this is where we are headed right now. Like, if you are not following along, we have millions of people who are crossing the country, crossing into the country. We're at a pace right now that says we're at about 3 to 4 million people who are coming in, and this is only the people that they have actually caught. So this number could be double that amount. There's not a lot of people who are working in Border Patrol. There's not a lot of people who are with the amount of people who are crossing over. All they have time to do right now is a process. And as a result, you have people who are coming in at one side, but you have another group of people who are coming in on another side. And there's just an influx of large amounts of people. Many people are hoping for a housing crash. People are expecting that things are going to return to possibly 2008 levels. But again, as I spoke, we've had 40 million people added to the country since 2008. We'll have another 20 or 30 million people in the next 5 to 10 years. Things are going to change in this country. And everyone who is worth listening to that I hear, they're all saying the same thing, is that times are going to get more and more difficult. The days of focusing on $50,000, $60,000 I think it's behind us for the most part. Like, I think in this going culture that we're getting ready to head into, it's going to be necessary for you to focus on how can you make $200,000 a year, how can you make $300,000 a year, because the cost, and especially if you don't have a home that's already bought, if you don't have those prices that are already locked in. Right now, there are spots in San Francisco that rent for $4,500 to $5,000 a month, and those were those were not normal back in the day. So while a lot of people are sitting back saying, "Hey, you know what? I got cheap rent right now," eventually, just like we saw during the pandemic, those rents are going to rise as more people come into the country. So owning assets right now is going to be the key. There's given opportunities that you receive. They work with you. If they haven't paid your mortgage, they'll place it on the back end. They'll refinance it. There's so many different things that'll do once you own that property, because they understand it's better for them and for you if you remain in that house rather than putting it out for foreclosure and that taking that long process. So what do we take from this? Again, my focus is my future. My focus is my children. My focus is my family. And at the same thing, I'm sure that you guys who are listening are focusing on things that are similar as well. Um, the day is going to come where your children are going to ask you, "Dad, Mom, why didn't you buy houses when they were 200,000? Why didn't you buy, these properties when they were 90 grand for a condo?" And now they have to go out and they have to suffer. They have to buy these houses now for 600 and 700,000. So the title of this is called Deal or No Deal. And that's going to put your children in some difficult circumstances. They're going to be forced to get up and go to work when they don't feel like it. They're going to be forced to answer to people that will talk disrespectfully to them because their parents were not serious about their time frame when they were young. I see a lot of people who are in their 40s and in their 50s, and they're still kind of struggling along, still kind of working these odd jobs. And I think a lot of times I'm like, you didn't have, you didn't take a few weeks, a few months to try and do something different. That there are people who were working in warehousing in 2010 and jumped up and like, I'm trying to do some of this IT work when no one else really knew about it, and they were in a field ahead of time before it boomed. We have this infrastructure bill that is just starting to be rolled out. The cash is getting ready to flow, and there's going to be a whole lot of opportunity in the sectors of the trades, in the sector of construction, in the sectors of healthcare and all these other places. How is it that we can position ourselves to better capitalize on these opportunities? So for the future, for your family, for yourself, don't end up, as a Walmart greeter. Don't end up with someone who is expecting to receive from this Social Security, and it's next to nothing that you receive. There are people who were able to save a good amount of money from the past, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000, and that money means nothing right now in this current economy. So, yeah, this is it. There's a lot of debauchery that's going on, but there's an opportunity, and you see here with this interview, more than anything else, is that if you bet on yourself, that you continue to be faithful, continue to work even during the times that it doesn't make sense, during the times that are difficult. There's an opportunity that will present itself, and when it does, you can capitalize and you can gain on those opportunities. What are your thoughts? Please comment below, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for joining. Have a good day.